I am the OGGM. I'm looking at crowdfunding projects, looking at crowdfunding projects, looking at crowdfunding projects. I am the OGGM, and I'm looking at crowdfunding projects and digging a hole. It's 8:23 in the morning. It is the 28th day of February 2024. 30 days, half December, April, May, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February, which has 28 or 29 if it's a leap year. It's a leap year! Whoa! Time travel. Tomorrow is a day that happens only once every 4 years. Weird. It's always weird when you think about that, right? There's just one extra day floating around there. Must suck to be born on the 29th. How old are you? 4? How old are you? 4. How old are you? 4. How old are you? 5. Anyways, it's Wednesday. It's time to look at all the crowdfunding projects that are coming to an end this week. And if any of them stand out to me or anybody else, my good friend Ra Rasputin, who we haven't heard from in a while, hey, buddy, suggested I take a look at this crowdfunding project called When the Moon Hangs Low. Looks like it's just coming to the end. When the Moon Hangs Low is a gothic action role-playing game in which players take on the roles of hunters, people possessed with strange abilities who find themselves fated to oppose the forces of darkness set in Harrowmire, a decaying city teetering on the edge of chaos. It is a game of intrigue, investigation, and combat. And this has been playtesting and looking to Kickstart since 2019. So, yeah. Been out there for a while, but looks like it's finally gotten around to doing something. At least this is the first I've heard of it. And yeah, that sounds really, really, extremely, really familiar. Dark city, gothic, teetering on the edge. Gosh, I mean, I have no idea where I've heard something. Oh, wait, yes, it's Blades in the Dark and Spire. Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck with your Kickstarter. It's got a cool name, and I like the picture, but I already have Blades in the Dark. Catalyst Games is doing another thing with Paizo. I didn't know they'd done stuff with Paizo before, but sure. They're doing a Pathfinder Runefire deck building game. No pictures of the cards yet, but I guess it's being crowdfunded, and it's dealing with Pathfinder stories and something called Runefire, but it will have, weapons and spells and magic items, which means potential cards that you could use for props in other methods. So keep a lookout for these cards if they show up, and to see if they could be used for, like, hey, here's the sword you find kind of thing. Because guys, by now, I love me the cards. They're just such a great prop. And, the monster cards, the spell cards, especially the item cards, but they're so good. I could do a whole thing about why the cards are so good, which I have, and I will probably do again. But now we're talking about crowdfunding projects. All right, ending on the 8th day of March from Studio Agate, we have Tainted Grail, tabletop role-playing game, Song of a Dying World. It uses the story arc system. It's $150 for the box set with books, cards, GM screen, dice, and more, plus PDFs. And it's got some art and some cool figures, and it looks very dark, grim, because that's just the thing now. We got to do the dark, grim, King Arthur, end of the world, nobody happy role-playing game. This tells a story about King Arthur has actually returned, and then died defending Earth, and now it's up to you to pick up where he left off and defend the Earth from the forces of the wilderness that are trying to reclaim the world. So the once and future king came back, fell, and now the last humans are defending the world from the forces of darkness. From Shadowlands, we have the Winter King role-playing game. This ends on the 7th of March. It is $149 for the box set with 3 hardcovers, GM screen, dice, plus digital versions and additional PDFs. And this sounds like the exact same game. Wait a minute. Okay. So this one is Tainted Grail, tabletop role-playing game about King Arthur. This one, The Winter King, is about Mordred slaying King Arthur and Britain following to a dark king, dark time, dark eternal night. This is from Shadowlands, and Studio Agate is from, Tainted Grail is from Studio Agate. They are literally the same game from two different points of view. Was this some weird intentional cross-promotion or just collective unconsciousness that both these companies basically made the exact same game? I guess there's a lot of people out there who want to take the King Arthur myth and deconstruct it and make it into like, oh, dark, grim, bad thing, because, we can't have heroes anymore. You know how I feel about the deconstructing heroes thing, especially deconstructing superheroes. But then, what if Superman was evil? What if King Arthur failed? It's like, guys, come on. But it's just weird that two of these came out, reached Kickstarter, and are being made, and they're basically the same thing. So again, intentional or collective unconsciousness? I guess we'll never know. From Roll and Play Press, we have Map Library, a huge box set of maps. This ends March 7th. It's $65 for the digital and print, and it's a whole bunch of dry erase battle maps. Wow, fucking love these, okay? And $65, considering how much these cost on their own, ranging anywhere from $9 to $20, 80 of these. Yeah, I should have, definitely recommend this one. All the battle maps you've ever needed, foldable, dry erase. It's cool. And for some reason, there's a snake holding a fork and a spoon. Oh, no, it's an octopus. Okay, it's an octopus attacking the chef. Rise of the octopuses. Except, octopuses are actually kind of cool and friendly. I think if there's anything in the water we would ever have to worry about, it would be jellyfish. Apparently, they are just fucking evil. From Son of Oak Game Studios, we have Legend of the Mist. This is ending March 7th. It is the fantasy version of City of the Mist, which is a superhero noir role-playing game based upon Powered by the Apocalypse. It's $129 for physical version, GM screen, slipcase cards, and characters. And it's inspired by Lord of the Rings and Princess Mononoke. So, fantasy. From Epic Levels, we have Dungeon Cats. This one only costs $8. It ends March 8th. $8 gets you the PDF and the print version. And it's about cats going through dungeons and doing all the other Dungeon and Dragon-y type stuff, but instead they're cats. So, how will cats react to a dungeon? I don't know. As this picture shows us, probably easily distracted. Oh, look, treasure. Oh, look, an invisible bug. We all love cats, but let's face it, they would make horrible adventurers because they're just so easily distracted. I could fight that monster, but it's nap time. Speaking of Rah Rah Rasputin, for Troikia, we have Actum Time Event, a D66 of SFJRPG backgrounds for Troikia from Wild Whim. This ends on March 11. It's $20 for the PDF and the print versions. It's JRPG plus Troikia, so JRPG plus acid fantasy plus time travel. Think Chrono Trigger meets the butterfly effect meets the weirdness that is Troikia meets anime. Yeah, okay, sure, but it's only $20. This one's only $8. This is an idea I had like 10, 15 years ago. So speaking of collective unconsciousness, I ran a game where everybody was escaped familiars. And now we have Wizard's Legacy, an unfamiliar D&D one-shot from Jerry Joe Seltzer. This ends on March 13th. It's 5e. It's $6. It's the cheapest of all of these. You play freed wizards familiars who are adventuring in the wizard's tower and around the world trying to locate your missing wizard and do wizardy things for your missing wizard and stuff like that. Really cool idea. I tried running a game like that where everybody was either a wizard's familiar or an intelligent magic item, and they had to try and convince people to help them. The intelligent magic item kept trying to win battles of ego to get NPCs to carry them. It was a very weird, interesting game. And the intelligent magic item could only communicate by making signs because it was a staff. It was the wizard's staff. So it had to have it had to make little signs pop out of it and it could only use like one words. That game only lasted like 3 sessions, but it was kind of fun. So congratulations for these guys taking my idea and running with it. It sounds, I think it could work with the right group. I don't know if I'd include the intelligent magic item as the character, but just everybody playing an escape familiar, trying to avenge your dead wizard or find your dead wizard. That could be fun. So let's see what stands out to me this week. Well, obviously we already talked about how these are the same game, which is just weird. This one. $65 for 80 plus maps. The average map those flip maps costing, let's say $18. So what was that? Yeah. 65 divided by 16. That's about 5 maps per normally. So for the same amount, you'd be getting 85 for what would cost you about, in the shop, if you bought them one by one, you'd only get like 5. So dude, fucking get this. If you use maps, this is an amazing. Go roll and play press. We need more things like this. And that's it. If any of those stand out to you, let me know if you picked them up and what you thought of them. And if there's any other projects you want me to look at, like our Rasputin sending me that one and Catalyst Games sending me theirs, then feel free to send it to me. If you appreciate this content, consider heading on over to Giant Slayers Games and picking up my first new self-published release in over 3 years. It's called Damaged, and it is the final resolution to the ongoing issue of DM Fudging Dice and Player Agency. Or simply subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet and help me hit 2,000 subs by August 4th. Till then, get off my land.